3, 2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. We are into segment number 3, and the people in Catonsville keep screaming and blowing out my mic. All right.
There we go.
I think it was the main microphone that was blowing out. I think it was your mic, Luke. We're here
blaming me. Okay.
We're not really
Throw me under the bus.
We're
it's
not
fine.
really in paradise, though, right? We're in Catonsville, but they call it paradise somewhere between Wilkins Avenue. Dennis calls Coons Ford paradise over here off Security Boulevard. Big appreciation to Steve and everybody here at Yomps and Jennings for doing this. Matt Skura out, Luke Jones, our final segment. We've talked so much about Lamar and enthusiasm and all this excitement, but I wanted to bring up Brad Bozeman's Halloween party because we had him out at Green Mountain a couple weeks ago. I saw you and your wife out. It was a rousing success by any measure, right? And I've done 19 or 20 of these Halloween parties, and I've seen Kevin Byrne dressed in lobsters. We've dressed as grease. We've done all sorts of stuff. But your outfit, you want to tell everybody what you did? Because we put some pictures up on the interweb, and it was a pretty full participatory thing. About 25 guys from the team came out.
Yeah.
In various. Jimmy Smith stalked me and was pushing me around everywhere, and I didn't know who was in the outfit. And it took me a little while to figure out it was Jimmy Smith.
Yeah. Jimmy, I think, dropped a nice penny to get his costume, but it paid off. I mean, it was great.
Anonymous.
Yeah, very anonymous. And my wife and I
Nick Boyle
were.
had an anonymous one too.
Yeah, he did. He was an old priest.
Yeah, he was kind of walking around. Nobody knew who he was. And
yeah.
I just was doing body type. I'm like, could be a tight end, not a linebacker. All right, Caucasian, African. So I was trying to figure out where these guys. Well, it's not Justin Tucker. I thought Jimmy Smith was Lamar. Body size, right? Wouldn't that?
Close, yeah.
Close, yeah.
I kept saying Lamar's in that suit, but he came up to me and gave me too hard of a time to be Lamar. I knew it had to be a veteran. You know what I mean? There was too much relationship going on between me and this bigger guy in this outfit that looked like he wanted to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's Halloween. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah, it was fun. My wife and I were the Spartan cheerleaders from the SNL skit with Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Very good.
Very good.
Some people of the younger generation didn't realize, couldn't catch on to our costume. And I'm like, this is iconic SNL skit right here. We had fun with it, and it was good to see all the guys come out and see what they dress up in. A lot of guys had some good ideas.
Well, there's been a team atmosphere, and Luke and I talk about this. And every time I bring something up with a guy like you, you're not Mike Flynn. You're not Matt. You weren't around here for all of this, but I have been. And I've been in every locker room in every city on 2 continents following you guys. And there's always been this business-like Raven thing, but I've not seen before this team guys gathering literally after games who don't want to take their pads off, win or lose. I mean, the Kansas City game, even the Cleveland game, even after losses, there is this conversation that you guys have after games that I haven't seen. And it doesn't shock me. And I even talked to RG3. It doesn't shock me you're 7-2 right now because I think there is part of that chemistry thing that Eric 20 years in and Ozzie and John that this organization excels at because they've been doing it one way for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a really tight bond as the entire locker room, offense and defense. In the main locker room at the facility, it's not just, the O-line sits all together or the offense sits all together. We're all intermingled. So, I sit next to Matt Judon and Earl Thomas, and then I've got Chris Moore and Chris Wormley next to me as well. So it's kind of like a cool way of how the locker room is organized.
Building community.
Yeah, exactly. And so guys who normally want to talk to each other do, and I don't know, I think it is a good idea to build relationships that way. And after the Kansas City game or after the Cleveland loss, we're tight through good and bad. And so, I think after the Kansas City game, we can, truthfully talk to each other and say, hey, we know we're a better football team than this. We just need to do these 2 things here and there, and we can take our game to the next level. And so,
there's bitching, complaining, moaning, blaming, all of that. What I've seen is more just discussion, just literally, and I've been not involved in it, but I see 4 guys from the secondary all who don't want to take their pads off, don't want to get in the shower, aren't concerned about the bus, and they're still talking adjustments after a game. I honestly can say in 23 years, individually maybe, relationships, a couple of guys waiting for each other that drive together or whatever, but you guys are some different cats. I mean, I can say that having witnessed it all.
Yeah, for sure.
And Luke's been at it 10 years. Sure.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I don't know exactly, what the magical formula is, but I don't know. We just have a really close bond with each other, and
are there similarities that you find when a Bozeman who you don't know comes in, or a Ronnie or whatever, that through it all, the football part of it, the difference between Duke and Notre Dame, and Marshall being a little older than all of you and of another generation, but that there is a commonality through all of this? That is, I guess, for your job, we got to win on Sunday. We got to beat Houston Sunday. That is the commonality.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're able to have a lot of fun. We're able to joke around, but I think too we're able to lock in really well. I think once especially when tomorrow comes around, we're really good at just locking into the game plan, and we kind of just are able to put the blinders on a little bit and just kind of get into the zone of, okay, this is who my guy is that I'll be blocking for a majority of the game. And I don't know. I think we're just really good at locking in, and we all just keep each other accountable. I think that's the biggest thing too. And making sure, in practice we take all of our reps very seriously and make sure they're meaningful, and that, we're over-communicating and correcting any mistakes. And sometimes it's staying after practice for just a couple minutes just to talk over, a scheme or how our communication could be better the next day. And then all those things just kind of come together on Sunday, and that's what everyone sees.
So where were your sunglasses on Sunday?
I didn't even know all that stuff was going on. I think it was, all those guys.
You were too busy trying to hold on to a 30-point lead.
Yeah, all those guys were, sitting. They got to, have their Gatorade. They got to sit, and I'm still out there playing. But I'm just
Matt, I want to
just trying to make the snap right.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something that we talked about briefly in the first segment, how deep into the season we are now. And I can recall seeing you in the locker room. Might have been the week of the Seattle game. You were wrapping up your knee. I know you had been on the injury report a week or two before that, but we see the injury report every week. All 53 guys are dealing with something, whether it's the most minor thing you can think of or someone who's in danger of not playing that week.
Ice up, son.
Going into week 11, how do you feel as an NFL offensive lineman, and how much goes into the week in terms of maintenance, recovering from the previous game, and getting yourself ready to go on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big part of what we do as football players. I mean, everyone just sees the product on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday, but really a large part of it is, in the training room, getting treatment on whatever little thing may be nagging you. Sometimes getting up a little bit earlier in the morning and hitting up the hot tub or cold tub, or staying after practice and getting in the cold tub. Those things for me, and for really anyone, just kind of like build up. And so because one little nick here or there can really start to pile on, especially with how physical our position is. So, I just try to –
A blister becomes something that's a big deal.
Yeah, a blister can turn to, your whole bottom of your toe coming out, like the whole skin coming out. I mean, that's happened to me where, I think it's just a callus, and then, the whole pad of my foot has
I'm
come
a
off.
Wooden guy, right? And John Wooden, if you study any Wooden, first day, first practice, UCLA, no matter who you are, shows you how to put your sock on properly. Because put your sock on wrong, you get a blister. You get a blister, you can't play, you're no good to me.
Yeah.
Literally. And that's a Wooden thing, but it's the smallest thing. Just to talk about all of you and all that can go wrong in 65 or 70 snaps, right?
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, just really staying on top of your body, and just anything that may not feel right, just attack it. And, even though putting a little wrap on a finger, you don't think it's significant, it can really help. And just really, I don't know, just doing the little things to make sure your body is the best it can be for Sunday.
Is that something that's easier now as opposed to 2016 when you're on the practice squad and, hey, you don't want that You don't want the Turk come to say, hey, coach wants to see you.
Right, exactly. No, it is. And, during the practice squad year, you're more focused on kind of yourself, really, just kind of being in the weight room. I was lifting, 4 or 5 days a week, and then just making sure that I'm preparing for the scout team and giving the best look I can to the defense. So
you want to be noticed for the right things.
Yeah. You don't want to be noticed for screwing up on, they just show you a card and show you what to do. I mean, if you're screwing up that, then that's not good. So, so it just kind of metamorphosizes, if that's the right word or not. But it just kind of grows, I guess is a better way to say it. Like, as you get older, too, you just got to stay on top of your well-being and how you feel physically, mentally. I don't know, that having your body right is definitely the biggest part. And if something big does come up, you just got to make sure if you can fight through it, just fight through it, and hope that each week it kind of gets better and better. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a big part of what we do.
Well, you're lucky to have a guy like Marshall around. I know we talked about that the last time, but having a guy that's been through all of this, who's going to be completely candid with you, and he's probably never going to steer you wrong in that way. As to, hey, you got to get this taken care of, or he's been around through 3 or 4 centers at this point, right? So he's seen what this looks like. We got Matt Skura out here. We're just west of Paradise, Paradise to the east here. West, right? Roost 88. I got to give you guys some love. I appreciate you coming out and being a part of this tonight. Luke on short notice, Matt on short notice, Dennis on short notice, Steve on short notice, but long notice for you guys. You guys are electrifying the city. Nothing's more Baltimore positive than when the Baltimore Ravens win on a Sunday. Absolutely. So give them hell against Houston. We got, after that we'll be out in L.A. You know how excited I am? I'm going to go to the L.A. Memorial Coliseum and see a football game. My dad would think that's cool next week. So I'm excited about that. So even the old guys get to do something new. Thanks for being a good friend to the show, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Not bad for a Duke guy. You guys saw it.
And a Pittsburgh guy.
The whole hour. I didn't even give him a hard time about it. My thanks to Jennings Cafe and all of our Baltimore Positive sponsors. Stay fair and everybody else. We're at WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore. Matt's having a one-way conversation with the Roost. You guys done? I'm done too. See you soon.